There was also a bar that I dropped, like the calculator,
Yeah, exactly.
like, does that sound familiar to you guys?
Hey, hello, what's up, my people? It's your boy again, OJ, Big Slim. Welcome to our show. Today, as promised, we're gonna do a review on Illy Chapo X by Illbliss, an album released in 2020. Quite a good one. Yeah, so keep it locked in, and you're definitely gonna enjoy this one. Let's get started. How are you today, guys?
Doing good. Just chilling. It's a very, very sunny afternoon. Oh,
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a quite nice day going. I've been listening to this album, so and the album has been making my week already. So.
That's good to hear. So where do we want to start? Talking about the album. It's quite a lengthy one, right? Like about 17 or what, 18 songs?
I think
probably
17 tracks.
Yeah, about 17 tracks.
Yeah,
It's I mean, overall, what do you think, Slim, about this album?
I think it's a very enjoyable album, and I think he brought his bossness into it. Like, we all know Illbliss as the Oga boss, always coming in, I think this is his 7th studio album. To be honest, I've not really followed most of his body of works. Yeah, but just maybe the singles, and But this one, it talks about the time 2020. We all know what happened in 2020, and then talked about the country as well, and then gave us some braggalicious, just bragged on all of the rappers and all of us, and also talked also about his own tribe in Igbo and what they do, with the pride in it, and then gave us a little into his own personal life with Remember as well. And so I'll say there were different contexts for different people. So it's a good one.
Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I think the album is, it's really, really good because I definitely have heard Illbliss on a couple of tracks, but I haven't really gone through his whole body of work at any point. But
from his days with was Thoroughbreds, right?
Yeah, with Thoroughbreds, I mean, the guy spits bars. Is I mean, if you listen to Illbliss, you are not going into, you're not, I mean, you shouldn't be going into to listen to Illbliss with a technical ear, but then you're going to get bars. You're going to get bars. This is just the truth, and this is exactly what I got from the album. And I think also the album is it shows you that Illbliss has a very good ear for beats. He the selection of the beats were
100%.
Very good. And
I agree.
Also, he had a lot of topics to touch, and this is this is very, very important in music. For you to be able to connect, different topics and have stuff to talk about.
Yeah, most
so
definitely.
Generally, it feels like a very good album.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I would point out anyways. Like you just said, the beats are mad crazy. I could imagine. I've always been the Just Blaze intro fan, from the Rockefeller days and things like that. When I first played the album and it started, God made you king, the Illy Chapo X, God made you king, that Just Blaze kind of shit. I was like, oh man, I was already
remember, God made you king, God made you king, drink a lot of champagne, God made you king.
Just waiting for the bars to drop, and then it kept going, So firstly, I mean, it was one thing that, for instance, in the days of Bad Boy, Biggie, having radio friendly, it was called radio friendly beats. Amazing.
I mean, just on a side note,
yeah.
you know, like Illbliss actually played Biggie in one of Mode 9's video.
Ah, okay.
With
I
rhyme
mean,
time.
it looks like he has the body, but I think it's more like the Rick Ross as well. Even with like selection of beats, that's one thing Rick Ross does like perfectly as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Mode 9 was actually, I think it was actually, you know, making reference. There was this song Rhyme Tight, because I rhyme tight, yeah, basically the reference from Biggie, and he dropped the video on Biggie's
something like
so like yeah, Illbliss was like the one who was like playing Biggie in the video.
Okay.
So who did Mode 9 play?
No, I mean Mode 9 was
Mode 9 was Mode 9.
he was just, you know, but Biggie was the one that, I mean, he kind of referenced the chorus.
Yeah.
Like it was Illbliss, I was like,
because I ran that, we must work that. Something like that. That line. Man, I love Biggie though.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
But like, I don't know if you guys like talking about the producers, right? I don't know if you guys listen to works by Toye.
Oh, I kept hearing Toye all over it. I didn't take my time to check out this dude. I think this dude is quite some guy to reckon with. I mean, he
and I think he did like a huge bunch of the songs.
Yeah,
maybe around 6, because I know there's Toye, there's legendary beats, there's
Suspect.
Kezi Clef. I think it was mastered by or mixed by that Suspect. I mean, Suspect has his hand. They are together. They are brothers. It's like a crew. There's no Illbliss without Suspect. Also,
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, like most Nigerian great albums, you know, they have this thing where you have one producer, like one producer does like 90% of the work. Like he keeps like a kind of cohesive feel of the album, you know, like, and this is not an exception actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know Legendary Beats could do like hip hop albums, because he's more into like the Afro beats. Worked with Wizkid, with Ojo Elegba, you know, and some other joints like that. Like it's really good. It's really good. Like the beats.
Oh, nice. So let's come to tracks. a lot of them. I mean, God Made You King. I think everyone vibes with that track. You know,
good intro.
Very nice intro, in my opinion. You know, reminds me, of course, of a typical Rockefeller intro by Just Blaze. You know, and then he came out like blazing. You know, talking about himself and how folks wrote him off and things like that. But he's still here, like a bit of over a decade later. Says, there were bars like "Thanks for not believing in me. Times were tough." Told me how much I was a diamond in the rough.
Nice spin on it.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I think the anthemic first track was like fire. I mean, like it's a very good way to introduce the album.
Yeah, true.
And I mean, like, immediately I heard that part, I was like, oh God, man, what am I in for today? What am I in for today? Like, how would you start the album like this, man? I mean, it's like a very, very strong bass, and I mean, strong track that, basically paves the way for a very good album.
Possible for us to hear a bit of that?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Let's do that. That shit's good, man.
Jazzy Clef Productions.
Chapo. Remember, God made you king. God made you king. Drink a lot of champagne. God made you king. Pull up on the Phyno. God made you king. Illy Chapo X, you know that God made you king. Remember, God made you king. God made you king. Drink a lot of champagne. God made you king. Pull up in the Phyno. God made you king. Illy Chapo X, you know that God made you king. underdog. Thank you for the couch, but I'll just sit on the rug. Thank you for the numerous times you wrote me off. Thanks for not believing in me, times were tough. Showed me how much I was a diamond in the rough. Showed me how much I had to keep calling your bluff. Every time I came back, I struck with more fire. Finally, the devil is a motherfucking lie. I believe. Rose from the ashes to the penthouse suite. Silver looking blue sea, sipping on my herbal tea. Everything I touch gold. Chapo-X so cold, never is frozen. Living life golden. I look back on days when I was beautiful, molding. Never had a clue what these blessings were loading. The Champions League trophy's what I'm holding. See, that's what I'm holding.
Yeah. That was a strong one.
That was a good one.
Yeah, for an intro, you know.
I think Yakubu is right with it. It's like an anthem, like it stays with you. Like
you know,
most definitely. It's a good way to open an album.
Exactly. Good work. Yeah, so and then there's a track called Heal. I think he was basically talking about the pandemic and how it's affecting a typical social life.
Yeah, and then asking God to like heal the country.
Yeah.
And heal the world in general, of course.
He was basically talking about Corona and everything, and you know, how the world has changed and all that stuff. I think it was a nice one as well. Yeah. But what do you guys think about that one?
Yeah, I think it's a nice one to just like address the pandemic and ask for, because we were all clueless at that time, right? So everyone could ask for wherever help they could get it from, spiritual.
That's true. You could really put yourself in at that time and say, "Oh man, what's happening?" And then maybe for the very religious people, you just have no option other than to call on your God, right? So
exactly,
it was a nice one.
Call on a higher power at that time. So yeah, it was really good. What's your? I don't think we can review all the songs in the album. But it's quite a long one. So maybe you, Yakub, could just tell us like your top 5 and see if it matches with ours, and we can then address which one we have in common.
Yeah, I don't think my top 5 is going to be like similar.
All right.
Like, you know, I usually like technical music, but then I really like this album, to be very sincere. I like it for a lot of factors. First, I think it's very relatable. He has very, very relatable topics. It's not, I mean, it's not just like, I mean, it's very common to find rap albums where the rapper is just bragging that I'm better than you, and you know, I'm a warrior, I'll kill you and stuff like this. But it's very, very relatable because the kind of topics he chose. And also I love the beats generally. So I mean, for me, I wouldn't want to rank any track. I mean, I'll just select a bunch of them, but that I wouldn't want to rank them.
Yeah, you don't have to rank them.
The first time I would say God Made You King. I think this is a very good opener, very, very nice opener. And then I like this Opa Iwika track.
That's my track of the album, actually.
Yeah, I like Phyno's, like the way Phyno kind of blended.
Oh, Phyno kills it, man.
Even Phyno's verse, I think like Illbliss kind of started it, and then Phyno just basically
jumped on, and it was mad crazy.
And he had like very good. He had very like, he was like the technical part of that track. That was really nice. Then I like Fever by Illbliss and Yemi Alade.
Oh yeah.
Now, personally, I have a little bit of crush for Yemi Alade.
Okay, I see why.
so because of that, like yeah. And then I like Remember also because I mean I think it's a very very good and you know very personal track, and also like Johnny Drille basically does his thing on it as well. For the 5th track, I will say it's either between Hill or Country. I mean, based on the message, actually.
Okay, makes sense.
Slim, what about you? Let's hear yours. Very sure we're gonna have different ones today.
I think I'll be the only person that, and this is not me trying to sound controversial, but I did not enjoy the Upper Weaker song.
Okay. Is it because it sounds like this track he's done before with, I think, Ricardo Banks and someone else I can't remember was like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. It's a long time ago.
I knew there was like even that and another track too. I was like, this sounds familiar though. Or is it because I've listened to this album before, like so I couldn't place my fingers on it?
You know what? I think at that time there was also maybe there was a remix where what's this lady who's now switched into gospel music also did with them at the time. Chidima, I think. So maybe there was even a remix of that song was really big. Exactly.
I was like, this song, I've heard this song.
But come on. We have to give him credit.
Oh, yeah.
This song is mad. It's mad. I just loved. I mean, he did quite well, but I think Phyno made it like super, super crazy, you know. Mm-hmm. There are some words in there from Phyno, like, you know, that he raps in Pidgin and combines Igbo with it, and you can relate it. I just felt like I was listening to that green, you know. It's how it feels sometimes for me. You know, I hear a word like Odikanato NC, the way I be chilling, you know. And I'm not an Igbo guy, but I could already say, okay, you know, I'm vibing with this because I can put AC and Chili together, and I know what rappers could do with rhymes like this, you know. And
maybe it might be a song that I have to listen over and then
that.
Well, yeah, it's all good. There was also a bar that I dropped, like the calculator.
Exactly.
Like, does that sound familiar to you guys? Like, is there another song with that?
I think there
that
is.
Pocket, the calculator. Like, I was like, this is, but I can't place my finger on it.
But come on, everyone does that these days.
I know, but I just wanted to know if there's like another.
I think it's the new thing. Music is.
No, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just asking if you guys know, like.
Yeah.
Anyways, like, I like Remember a lot. It's quite personal and like it's deep. Johnny Drille, man, and just him like talking about his dad, like his late dad, and like all the things he learned from him, and just making it like quite personal, you know. And then also like with the aunt, and where he got like most of his CDs or vines at that time that I used to listen to, like just paying homage to those guys. And then the soothing voice of Johnny Drille. That was really dope. Which other one? I like Green White Green because I think with Illbliss too, it's just like you guys already said, you will not get like so much technical lyrics or whatnot, but you'll get meaningful bars and meaningful lyrics. And Green White Green just kind of enlightens everyone on Nigeria.
It was also Mad Beat.
Yeah, Mad Beat, and that we.
And you know, he was bigging up the Nigerian diaspora now, you know, so we have this stereotype that, you know, we're all criminals and stuff like that, but people are actually doing stuff that no one is really talking about. And I like how he plays all of that out in this track, Green White Green. I could really relate. It's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, exactly. I think you took the words out of my mouth. I like the Kiss the Ring one. Kind of just bragging again and just like everyone should kiss the ring because it's the dawn, and then condemning like just as Jay-Z condemned like the phone money thing that people were doing on IG, also like condemned that, like whatever you guys, the money that you guys are showing on Instagram, that's no money, it's all fake. I like Goddess, but I like the beats more because I think it didn't really play it how I would have preferred. if that's a critique, that's maybe at the end of the show I will do that. That would be one of mine. So I'll save that for that. My last one would be Country. Country just talks about like the present situation at that time, about the SARS, about the lawlessness of Nigeria, and also when like the finance office was burned, and then he just brought that in. And then he dropped one bar where he said, "Are we really a country or a sea of greedy people?" And like it just brings us back to the same topic we talked about.